Hi, everyone. We are here today with Josh Peterson, and we are so excited to have him on for our Health Transformation Audit. But before we get started, we just want to let you know that our fall detox is kicking off on September 17th. And we're so excited for this group detox after the summer. And it's a wonderful, supportive community. And it really gives you the opportunity to take your health to the next level. The past few months of summer have been amazing. And, we love all the outdoor barbecues and events and outings. And fall is a great time to reset, dial it back a little bit, and just jump right into the detox. So we would love to have you join us. And the sign-up link is in the show notes. And now we're going to go talk with Josh. And we are so excited to have him on today. And Josh, one of the things that we love to ask all of our guests as we kick off the conversation is, what is your one non-negotiable to start your day?
Well, my one non-negotiable is to try to get 7 hours of sleep the night before. I am obsessed with sleep. I chase sleep. I've been on a long sleep quest. I used to work for a sleep company, and sleep is the foundation of health. It's the start of health. It's how you, I think, really move throughout the day. And so if I can get a good night's sleep, that makes my day go great.
That's awesome. I couldn't agree more personally. And do you typically get those 7 hours? Is that the norm for you?
I do. Yep. I have severe sleep apnea that's developed in the last 10 years. And so it's a bit of an effort every night to get that amount of sleep. But yes, I get at least 7 hours pretty much every night.
Great job. That's awesome.
So Josh, as we kick off this health transformation audit, we would love to have you take a moment to set your vision. So if you could look 6 months into the future, what would your ideal life look like when it comes to your overall health and happiness and well-being? What would just your ideal day be from starting your day? Like you said, your non-negotiable is getting that 7 hours of sleep, and then how it would progress for, the remaining time that you're awake.
Yeah. So 6 months from now, I think, a couple of things. One would be really owning my day. I have a lot of priorities in my life. My health is really number one on that list. My family is number two. And then my work or my passion projects that I've got going on is really number three. And so 6 months from now, if my health could be in a really good, comfortable spot, I think that's only going to enable those second and third priorities to really thrive.
And so what would that look like?
Yeah, I was just going to say the same thing. Be more specific.
Yeah.
Great. So again, 6 months from now, I think, I want to be able to just feel a little bit better. I've been moving a lot more over the last 6 months. I've been participating in your detoxes over the last 6 months, and I've been finding slow and steady progress towards all of that. But I know that it's a long-term lifestyle change that's going to get me there, not some kind of quick fix. And so 6 months from now, I think I would have reduced inflammation, particularly around my gut. I think I would feel up and ready to begin movement first thing in the morning. Right now, I need to have some coffee or another kind of activity before I actually get to movement. And then sometimes I might miss it because my day runs away from me. So 6 months from now, if I was waking up with my 7 hours of sleep and feeling great and not feeling inflamed and feeling ready to move, that's what good would look like to me.
That sounds amazing. And I love what you said, that it's a long-term lifestyle change and not a quick fix. Everybody listen to that, because so many people are looking for a quick fix, and that's just it's not the way it works, right? So the fact that you know that and are aware of that, you're leaps and bounds ahead of other people. And that's amazing.
Yeah. And the fact that you've already acknowledged that you've made some good, slow, steady progress. And then now you just want to continue that for the next 6 months.
What would you say is the number one roadblock holding you back to achieve, your next level in your health journey?
I would say it's a little bit of a Jekyll and Hyde situation for me. I lead an 80% healthy lifestyle, I'll call it. And for a long time, I thought that was good enough. And for a long time, it was good enough. But as I've started to age a little bit more, 80% isn't quite enough. And so when that Jekyll and Hyde switch flips to the other 20% of time and I'm out enjoying cocktails, I'm a big foodie, I like having fun. And when that part kind of kicks in a little bit too much, is when I notice challenges. And so I think I just need to keep pushing that dial, maybe closer to 85, 15, 90, 10, to really find that right balance for me.
And you mentioned like gut health and inflammation. Is there anything in particular you'd want to share about what in your gut do you believe is causing those issues? Because it seems like that's kind of one of the bigger challenges that you're having.
Yeah, I've spent a lot of time really kind of trying to understand the gut, and I've listened to some of your podcasts about it. And, it's really interesting to understand that there's a full, neurological system basically inside your gut. And it's really, it's its own sort of ecosystem down there. And what I've come to realize is that for me, it's got to be foundationally right. It's got to be healthy in order to stay healthy. You can't just kind of try to repair it with a kombucha here or there. It's just not going to work. You got to kind of be after it and be consistent. And so I've been working at that and trying to be more consistent about it. I think I might need to be gluten-free. I did take a food sensitivity test a while ago, and certainly gluten popped on that list. But so did a lot of other what I would have called healthy products that I was enjoying quite a bit. Egg whites, red peppers, those kinds of things. And I didn't know if they popped on my food sensitivity because of volume. I was eating a lot of those things, or because I actually have a sensitivity to them. So I'm now trying to find, again, more in that kind of 90-10 range. But do I need to be gluten-free? I kind of hope not, but gluten light, maybe, or gluten limited, maybe. And I don't know if that's a long-term winnable plan. Yeah.
So what I will tell you is that there are periods in people's lives where you may need to cut something out for a while you're healing your gut. And then you can add it back in and figure out the threshold that you can handle. So like for me, I was having a sensitivity to gluten, dairy, eggs when I started on my health journey a number of years ago. And I completely cut those foods out for a number of months. And then as I started to feel better, I started to test the products and add them back in and make sure I was eating, high quality eggs and high quality grains. And dairy is still not my friend. I can have a little bit of dairy, but I have noticed that if I eat a high quality gluten now, I don't get like a rash. I used to get a rash all over my body and all over my trunk. So hopefully this is giving you some hope, and that there are ways. Stephanie and I are both, very competent in guiding people on how to remove certain foods, kind of get your gut in check, and then add them back in. Because we're not looking, for a person to have no pleasure in their life. And if gluten brings you pleasure and dairy brings you pleasure, or egg whites bring you pleasure, we want to see you have the ability to eat those foods.
I think so far in my 6-month journey, we'll call it, here in 2023, I've been willing to eliminate those things for a week, 10 days, 2 weeks at a time. I haven't been willing to go on the months-long journey that you just described, Marnie. And I think it's probably necessary, but that hedonistic side of me doesn't want to do it, and wants to resist the label, honestly, of things like gluten-free, dairy-free. It seems so rigid. It seems so, I have a hard time sort of adopting the label for myself. We were out to dinner the other night at 112 Eatery, celebrating. And that's a tough restaurant to go to if you're trying to be gluten-free. Yes. It's almost impossible there. And so I give in a little bit. I don't quite have the willpower to do exactly what you just described. But maybe that's the thing I do need to do now, is give it months at a time and then be very specific about adding those things back in.
Well, and I heard you earlier, Josh, say, like, when you talked about the 80-20, that you like to go out and you like to be social and have fun. And you're not alone. We work with a lot of clients who feel like, oh, I can't be fun and social if I'm also restricting these foods. It's like an all or nothing. And so one thing to even think about is, think about how you can have fun and enjoy yourself and be social and still be that person that you are while taking care of yourself and prioritizing. Because a lot of times when it comes internally, when it's intrinsically motivated, then you care less about the external pressures. But it's hard to get there. You're not alone in that. And this is something that we work with clients all the time to kind of get to that realization?
Stephanie, one of the things you're talking about that really resonates with me is I've realized there's an identity question here. It's not and a mindset question here. And I'm still, you can tell, I'm still struggling with that part of it a little bit. I'm not quite ready to own some of those things as a part of my identity, but they're not mutually exclusive. I don't have to be, I can take care of myself and still have fun, I guess is maybe the point. And I'm still trying to figure out exactly how to do that. I'm going to a wedding next week and I didn't feel comfortable saying I had dietary restrictions. And I thought, why don't I feel comfortable saying that? And it's because I thought, well, it's going to be a fun event. I want to have fun. I don't want to put any restrictions on myself or have anyone else, have to make accommodations for me. But that's not quite the right mindset and identity that I want and long term. And so I know that's kind of where I need to go next.
And I feel like the way that our world has, moved, restaurants are very used to accommodations. People are very used to accommodations. And I think that I indulge when I want to indulge, and I think I'm still very fun. I don't live like this rigid lifestyle that you may think I do, but I actually don't. I think that you don't have to give up, gluten, dairy, eggs, whatever the things that are bothering you all together at once and have nothing to eat. It's more about trial and error. 10 days probably realistically isn't long enough to really notice changes in your body. Let's say you decide to give up gluten for a short amount of time or whatever it is, a couple months. There are so many restaurants in Minneapolis that have wonderful gluten-free menus. And it's really not that hard if you're not comfortable, if you're out to dinner with friends and you're not comfortable being that person saying, oh, can you tell me your gluten-free options? Call the restaurant ahead of time and, talk to them and see what they are so that when it is your turn to order, you can just say, oh, by the way, I want to do blah, blah, blah. There are a lot of, I think, workarounds where you can have fun and be healthy and feel well. It's just, like you said, it's a mindset shift, and you don't have to label yourself the rigid health nut or whatever it is.
Well, I think too, like if you had an allergy, if you actually had like a peanut allergy or a nut allergy or a dairy allergy, you would feel no shame or, think nothing of saying, hey, I'm peanut, I have a peanut allergy. You don't want to go into anaphylactic shock here, right? So it's kind of similar. Like this is just your body. All of our bodies are unique, and it's recognizing like what you need to thrive. And so if you envision like feeling amazing in 6 months, maybe that goal, if you will, that ideal day will, kind of start to motivate you and shift your mindset a little bit. So just some things to think about.
That's great.
I'm also wondering, like, what are you doing now besides your sleep that you feel like is really working well for you?
I am moving a lot. And by moving, I said, one of the things I've changed my mindset about is it's not about exercise, it's about movement. And so that can come walking the dog. That can come, for a quick stroll to the lake, or that can also come in a fairly intense, high intensity workout. And I'm doing all of those things. And I'm really excited about the fact that I've had the time in my life to really commit to that and really focus on that. And I've noticed a big improvement there. And I've noticed that that's been more help in sustaining some of the health improvements I've made. And so that's been great.
That's awesome. And I love, Stephanie and I talk about movement a lot. And it's really important to tune into what your body needs on any given day. Like a high intensity workout every day is not necessarily the best thing for us, right? Like walking your dog is amazing. Walking around a lake is amazing. Practicing yoga, stretching, like there's so many different ways, gardening, that you can move your body and not be like pumping away on a bike or, running on a treadmill or whatever it is. But it's the combination of everything and what you feel like you need on a certain day.
For sure.
Yeah. And that's great. It sounds like you've had more time recently to do that and focus on the movement. You mentioned the detox, that you've done it, which we love having you in our group. Has anything come out of those detox experiences, particularly when it comes to nutrition, that you want to continue to focus on, or that have been like enlightening, or just, on either end of the spectrum?
Yeah, I know one of the things many people are after, me included, was weight loss. And wow, was that significant during those detoxes? You do notice it come back a little bit after that period of time, which is perfectly normal and I think probably good, but never quite back to the same level it was at. I'm at I seem to have a new set point after each time I do it, and it's a couple pounds difference, and that's noticeable. But there's some more intangible benefits I've noticed as well. Maybe the surprising one was like skin and hair and like some of those things I'd never experienced before. And by, really changing your nutritional profile, I guess, can have a significant impact on your body in sort of intangible or unexpected ways. And I definitely noticed that as well. I also found it, on the movement side, a little bit hard, because the calorie intake is very low during those detoxes. And so I think, you guys talk about giving yourself a little bit of leeway to not worry about movement for the first few days, especially. And that was important to me because I'm, like I said, kind of in a state of really trying to move every day. I just had to move a little less during that because I had less energy to give. Sleep was a bit tough. It's my number one priority. We started there. Sleep. I felt restless during those first few days of each of the detoxes. And I know that that's my body processing what's going on. So again, I'm willing to give that up for a little bit for the long-term benefits, but that's certainly something I noticed as well.
So to clarify, would you say that you felt restless during the fasting days, but then once you introduced the food into your diet, that you were able to sleep better, or was it throughout the entire detox?
It was restless for sure during the fast, and then it was a return, but a little bit slower to quality sleep again. So I would say there was definitely a transition period. It wasn't like immediately eating healthy, fresh foods turned my sleep around. But within a couple of days after starting to eat healthy foods again, I did notice the sleep improve pretty dramatically.
Well, that's great. I mean, we love that you felt so wonderful from doing the detoxes, and you like these intangible benefits of things that you didn't initially expect that you're able to experience. So Josh, as we start to wrap up this conversation, what's one thing that you could do in the next 24 hours to kind of push you a little further on your health goal and that, trajectory, just to get the ball rolling, and just something simple that you could do almost immediately?
Yeah, well, one thing in the next 24 hours is I'm hosting a party tomorrow, a birthday party for some family. And I'm the chef, which means I get to dictate what the food is. And so we've already had a conversation about the menu, and my daughter is the recipient of the party, and we've found a place to go with the food that I'm really excited about and pleased about. So I can try on really, entertaining and having fun and, living that part of my life while also, being healthy while doing it. And so if I can build that habit and start with me controlling the event, that's a great way to kind of work my way there.
And do you want to share what you're planning?
Yeah, sure. We're doing a burrata salad to start. I'm going to watch how much cheese I have on that one. But, again, if it's high quality cheese, that goes a long way versus processed cheese. That's terrible. But I'll minimize my intake there. And then after that, it's a salmon with an avocado salsa and a little bit of rice. And I'm going to stray away from the rice, but certainly indulge in the salmon for sure.
Sounds
and then I'm
delicious.
going to avoid the brownies at the tail end, which is one of my favorite foods of all time. But this will be a good chance for me to prove to myself that I can have a great evening, enjoy myself, and skip the brownie.
Yeah.
Well,
and there are some great gluten-free brownies out there.
I was just going to say,
and even in a box.
It doesn't even have to be a brownie. Like, there are a lot of gluten-free treats. Even, maybe this isn't that exciting, but like some dark chocolate, a few squares of dark chocolate, if you have a little bit of a sweet tooth.
I do, and that's a good idea. I think I'm going to need that tomorrow.
Yeah.
The other key will be alcohol. I like good drinks. I like great cocktails, and those cocktails are sneaky. We know that, right? And so I'll probably stick to white wine tomorrow night, and it'll be an organic one to again live a little bit more right, but still have a lot of fun.
Well, that sounds awesome, Josh. And I think that your head is in the right space. The fact that you're thinking about your health and you're thinking about how you want to proceed over these next 6 months is a wonderful first step. We are here for you. You can reach out to us at any time. we'd love to follow up with you and see how things are going. And just congratulations on taking these steps on your own health journey.
Well, thank you guys so much. And thanks for all the help so far. The detox process has been great. And I'm looking forward to what that looks like in 6 months, like we talked about.
Well, great. And for any of our listeners out there who want to come on and experience what Josh just went through today, it can be anonymous. I know sometimes people don't love, opening up and sharing what's going on with their health and well-being, but this is just a safe space, and you will walk away with a tangible action step that will help you, on your journey to find your art of living well. So thank you, Josh.
Thank you,
and
guys.
we hope to see you at our next detox, September 17th. Have a great day.
Bye-bye.
Bye.